All right, guys. We got a few things going on. I know it's been a bit of a slow week. I'm hoping to fix that this week. I plan for us to do a couple of recruitment write-outs this week. I planned to do it last week, but a lot was going on. I kept making plans that I could not fulfill because I kept falling asleep or getting busy with some shit. Um, but this week, I'm gonna make sure that we have some recruitment write-outs planned. So I'm gonna make sure to communicate with the road captains so I don't plan over you guys on anything. So I'll be messaging you guys tonight or tomorrow about what you guys have planned. Um, so that I also want to still do some interviews. Me and Fat Boy is supposed to do an interview, but I was never able to do that as well. So I would like to do interviews this week. If anybody wants to do that, just let me know, and I'll reschedule one with you, Fat Boy, as soon as possible. The other thing is I need pictures for hierarchies for the members of the chapters. So if you have a table spot and all that kind of stuff, I'm gonna need to get your picture at the table, all that kind of stuff. So that way, I do it in Rockstar, so that way I can get it real dynamic, up close and stuff like that. So each picture looks different and unique and all that. Um, so I'll be planning those. So let me know when you're available, and we'll get something going. Um, the other thing is we are going to be doing something more precise with prospects. What we're going to be doing from now on is going to be kind of doing an exact 2 weeks thing, but this is going to require that sponsors, particularly, keep a bit of a better eye on when their hang-arounds and prospects are playing. But we're going to have it to where it's like exact 2 weeks thing. So let's say someone joins and they only play 3 weeks or 3 days out of the week, then that's only 3 days towards their 2 weeks. So them being with us for 2 weeks isn't enough. They've actually got to play for a minimum of 2 weeks, not like a bunch of hours every week, like just an hour or two a day type thing. But at least make it to where they message their sponsor or something like that and be like, "Hey, I played today," and all that kind of stuff. And we'll figure it out as we go. Once we'll sit down, we'll talk about how that system will go and that kind of stuff. I'll ask everybody their opinions on how things should work out. Um, the other thing is secretaries. So now that I found out the whole thing with YouTube, I'm still figuring out how to set you guys up. Would like is for each president to be an edits to go live for church instead of waiting for me or Yellow or anybody. Uh, and then if the president's not there, the VP can go live. And then for events, if the president and the VP aren't there, you got a third option of somebody who can go live for events. Um, but this would also allow us to make it to where churches aren't so, strict. We can kind of drop the schedule on churches and have it to where each chapter can have church as they need it. So that way, since each president will be able to go live when they want, and won't have to be around my schedule or Yellow schedule and stuff like that. They can go live when they need. Uh, but we'll figure that out. I'll talk to the presidents and we'll figure out a system for that. You guys can have chapter meetings and stuff like that to figure out how you guys want to do that if we decide to go that route. But it'd be the same for events, allowing people to go live on events. We'd be able to go live for events more often. It's something I was hoping we could start doing, but we haven't really done much yet. Where, each time we have an event, we go live on YouTube with it. Um, but does anyone have anything to say about anything I've brought up so far? Um, the other thing was, give me 1 second. All right. Sorry. The other thing was chapter creation in other games. We are trying to open chapters of the MC in other games. We tried this through a community thing where we were trying to create a community called the Horde, and through that we would play other games together. But it wasn't really working out. It was kind of getting complicated, making it separate things, and that created separate things from itself. You know, once we created the Horde, then we created a No Man's Sky Discord all on itself, and become one of those things that was becoming too complex. So I think I still want us to be able to expand on other games, but I think we should do it as the MC instead of doing it as multiple different communities and groups. I know being an MC doesn't work in every game's theme, so obviously you could refer to yourself as something different in other games and stuff like that, call things other different, but what I mean is like all these groups would be treated like a chapter. They would answer to national like a chapter would, and they would follow a our general bylaws, like be respectful and stuff like that. And they would still follow our basic simple, our basic system, like having table members that help run things and keep things structured. But maybe they call them something different if it's like in uh, Elder Scrolls or something like that. Uh, but having it to where it's all in our Discord, I just, make it to where I set up people their own chats and stuff like that. We don't have 800 Discords we're trying to manage through all these different games. It's all one big community. Does anyone have anything to say on that? If you're interested in starting anything, just let me know in any other games. Like I said, our system's not going to work for a lot of games like Call of Duty or anything like that. But if it's like an open world style game or anything like that, then I feel like we could make it work in that. So just let me know if you guys are interested, if you have any ideas, and we will get something going there. The other thing is a big one. Uh, we're not going to vote on this tonight. I'll probably put a vote up in the Discord for everyone to react to over the next couple of days. But I am suggesting that we go middle finger. Um, we did technically what we're supposed to be is 99% double middle finger. Fuck the world. That's why we have the two middle fingers on the bottom rocker. But obviously, I made that up. It's not a thing. Uh, at least middle finger is recognized by the community, and I was always under the impression that uh, middle fingers and 99% were pretty much the same thing, just represented differently. But from my understanding, and a lot of people telling me, middle finger just has more freedom. And that was the whole goal. I was just trying to do whatever gave us the absolute most freedom, because that's the whole point. Um, so I'm suggesting we go middle finger. I put up some patch designs for people and stuff like that. If anyone has any patch designs that they want to suggest, none of these are set in stone. We'll get some ideas of what we want to go for up, and we'll vote on which one everyone likes the most. Uh, I'm trying to do something that's not just the orc's head, but if we can't do something that's not just the orc's head, it works. That works just fine. I don't mind it. It's just I was trying to do something different. But if anyone has any ideas, just make it to where it's not something you just find on the internet. I don't want it to be something that anyone can just grab and throw on their patch too. You know what I mean? Uh, so, does anyone have anything to bring to the table? Oh, that is all I really had for this week. There is going to be some upgrades in the Discord on bylaws. I am rewriting all the bylaws. I'm kind of just typing it all out right now before I hit send, so that way I don't blow everyone up through multiple days. Uh, so I'm just gonna type it all out and just hit send on all of them at once, so it's all just updated at once. But right now I'm retyping them, so that way it's not gonna be posters or anything anymore. That way it's easier to edit in the future, and all that doesn't take me as long as it usually does. Um, but that is all we had this week. The event will be there's a few of us. If not too many of us leave, we can do a stand your ground. If not, we'll figure out a playlist. But that is all, guys. You guys have a good one.